So all you do is copy a segment, put your compass on A and the pencil on B, and then transfer that measurement over to here. And look, you got the segment length copied, okay? So, but there's different things we could do here, right? So here they have this segment, and they want you to copy it. So why don't you all just do that right now? Say you did it. Should take you about 3.2 seconds or so. Sure, everybody's got that by now. But what about this next one? What does it say? Construct what? The length of 3AB. So what are we going to do? Yeah. So really what we're doing in a simple way is constructing a dilation. Okay? This is a dilation. It's going to be an enlargement, in fact. So what are you going to do? Going to measure it and then do what?
And then just keep adding them until 3.
Right. That's right. So there's one.
Yeah, that's what I can do.
Copy that measurement again. Get the second one. And one more time. Like this. Okay? So we do need to label it, right? So here's our A prime. Right? And this point all the way out here, wouldn't that be our B prime? No way. Okay? And that's 3 times AB. Okay, let's go down here. Now they want you to bisect the segment. I think we've done that, haven't we? What construction are we going to use to bisect the segment?
Bisect.
Use this. What is this? Right, but you don't need to draw the whole perpendicular line in, right? So basically you're just finding the midpoint, right? So once you get to this point here, right, you all know how to get to this point, yes? You just put your ruler on. You don't trace the whole line, right? Just put a little mark there where the midpoint is. That makes sense? Okay? So everybody remember how to do that? That's our basic. How far do you open your compass initially?
Like a little bit past halfway.
Quite a bit past halfway. You only do just a little bit past halfway, your resulting arch will be clear enough to see where the line goes. Okay? So by the way, if we know how to copy a segment and then bisect the segment, could we do something like copy 2.5 segments?
We could.
How would you do that?
We would measure it with the compass.
Copy the segment twice, you know how to do that. Twice, and then how would you get the half? Go back to the original segment and do what? Bisect it, and then measure that and tack that on the end. Does that make sense? If you ever asked to do 2.5, okay? All right, so let's go on to the next page. And real quick, just don't do this one. Just do one, bisect it. And by the way, like now maybe we know that perpendicular bisector so much, guys. We don't need the whole arcs. We could just get the intersecting above and below to keep things kind of clean and neat, right? So everybody right now bisect this, and I'll show you what I mean. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm thinking,
Oh, you go like over a little bit over the midpoint.
quite a bit past it, I think, what you want to do. All right. Not quite a bit past it, right? But look, I'm not going to draw the whole arcs anymore, right? Because I know what's going on here. So I can't.
The further you go
Top of
past,
it's
the more you have
God.
to fit it.
Stupid thing. Right? So I'm just going to kind of arc down there and come back around and see what I'm doing? Flip it around and so I just get my intersecting points now because we know how to do this, right? Do we need the whole arcs? right?
I do.
We can, but when we get to some more complicated ones, it might just really make it messy and hard to see what's going on, so,
Really?
just, consider doing it this way. So then I put my ruler on, right? I don't have a written rulers. So then, you don't need to draw the whole thing, just make a little mark there with the ruler after you've connected those two second points. Okay? We're good with that, right? Okay, let's move on to something different now. Copying an angle. What I want you guys to do is read over these steps, right? So they have this angle A right here, and they want you to copy this angle exactly onto this segment, starts with A prime, okay? So look at this step by step, follow along with your compass maybe, okay? I'll give you a minute to read through that and see if you can work it out. Recording. So now I take this distance here and bring it down here to B prime and get an intersecting arc. So my ray is going to come from here to that intersection point, which is what they did there. Raise your hand if you think you get it now. No?
Wait, yeah.
Okay. So you got the part where we made this arc up here, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you kept your compass the same, and you just copied that arc down here where you want it, right? So far, so good?
Yeah.
So that's one measurement. We need another measurement. As always, we need another measurement to get things to intersect, right? Well, what's that other measurement? Right? We already have this measurement, right? Now, let's measure from that point to that point where they intersect. You with me?
Yeah.
Measure that. This is your compass, my compass, right? And take that measurement down here where they want you to copy it, right? And that should intersect the first arc you made. And that is where you put your straight edge down and draw your angle.
Oh.
Got it now?
No.
Somewhat.
Oh.
At least some people got it.
All right, let's try it like this. Copy this angle over to here. Work through it the best you can.
Copy that.
Oh. Can I erase the construction marks?
Leave them there. That's how you get credit for construction. Okay? Now let's see here.
Not for
Compass. Well, that. It's down here. It's recording. Okay then.
What did you say?
All right. So let me. So if you're working on this, you're getting stuck. You're just kind of watch what I'm doing, right? I'm going to some random measurement. It's not too close here because I don't want to suffer any accuracy issues. So I make this arc here. Okay. So now I need to. That's that distance. So I'm coming over here, and I'm going to transfer this distance over here. Come up far enough around. Okay. With me on that?
Yeah.
So now I just need another distance. So now maybe I'm going to take my compass, see where these two intersect? I'm going to measure that distance and carry it over there. So let's see here. Close it up. We get, looks about right. With me? Now I'm going to take that measurement and transfer this measurement right over here. Like that. And then what am I going to do? Take my straight edge, right, color here, and put it here. And I've just copied the angle. Lily, did you figure that out? Got it now?
I did it.
Okay. So, but listen, by the way, when we make this first measurement, this arc, right? Again, the compasses make circles, right? So that measurement, if I took the arc all the way around, would make a circle, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And that measurement is just the radius of that particular circle that would be made here, isn't it?
Yep.
Right? And then the other measurement, wouldn't that be the radius of another circle? That I get to intersect with that one, right? So we're doing the compass. Yeah, they make circles, but what we're really doing, we're not drawing the whole circle, but aren't we just transferring radii lengths around the page? Okay. All right, then. So do we feel better about that?
Yep.
Moving on. What's the next thing? Now, this is the one where they kind of overcook it here a bit, okay? So let me just run through. They throw this extra point out there, right? Remember, we need two measurements, right? To do constructions, okay? So what they want us to do is construct a parallel line, a line parallel to a given line, through a point not on a line. Now, in geometry, it was proven thousands of years ago that if you have a line and some point that's not on the line, there's exactly one line that will go through that point that's parallel to the first line. That's it. There's just one. Okay? Anything else will be just a little bit off and not parallel. Does that make sense? One line. So, again, we're going to need to measure some distances and transfer them over, right? So we're going to need two distances, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the line, the original one, and here's the point they want us to draw a parallel. So basically, it's going to go through like that, right? Parallel. So what you do is if you don't have these points on the line, you can put them there, and that'll work, right? So they put B and C here. Well, I might want to measure that distance, right? Okay? So I'm going to take my compass and measure this distance from B to C. Okay? Let me just do it here. Should I do it down here? Well, I'm just going to do it right. I'm going to do the whole thing right here. Let me get a compass in here. Okay, I'm going to measure this distance. Okay? So I got that distance measured. So I'm going to show I measured it, right? Well, that's going to correspond to the... I'm going to transfer this distance because my parallel line's going out this way somewhere, right? So I need my arc out here. So I have that distance, yes?
Wait, so where did we take the distance from? The
Right there,
two spots?
those 2 points.
Okay.
So,
And again, if they don't have those 2 points here, you can just put them in.
so wait, do you think that's right?
Right there, I measured that distance,
Okay.
and I transferred it up here. Got me so far?
The one at the bottom of the page, it throws off of it. Is that right?
No.
I don't remember. Now, as usual, we need a second distance to get things to intersect, right? You with me?
Mhm.
So let's take this distance here from B to A. How about if I measure this distance right here from B to A?
It's okay, we'll get back.
It's hard to do because my stupid idiot compass goes off the screen here. God,
I think so, neither.
that's close. I'm going to, right? So I'll measure that distance right there. Where do you think I'm going to transfer this distance to?
Let's see.
Move it over here now. You see?
Yep.
Do I have, how many points to find a line? 2. Do I have 2? I can put my straight edge on now? So now I just take my straight edge. That makes sense. Was it line style? I think that was on something, right? Thought it did. That was just there.
Make the arrow one. The circle head. No, circle head. There you go.
It won't give me the double. I'm not, it's not that important.
Make it magenta.
So now I'm just going to take this. Why? How did it get? You said that. It happened.
That's not
It's not
magenta.
magenta.
Silly.
All right. So somehow I got off a little bit because my compass, right? But if you do this carefully, it'll be perfectly parallel, right? So you don't need what they need, this other third one out here or anything like that. So you can do it carefully with just these 2 points. Okay? Does that make sense? I was apparently way off there, so because I had the issue going off the page
I
there.
have the same problem.
Okay? But, so let's all work on this. Now, they did put the 2 points here, okay? Okay? We'll make a measurement, transfer it up.
But if you use the D thing, it'll go off the page.
The D
That's why I said don't.
Yeah, whatever.
Just use the 2, like I said. Get 2 measurements and put them up above the line. That's it. Bring my compass back down here. So I want to take a minute and do this. If you need to see what I'm doing, you can take a look to help. So I'm going to measure this distance here. Okay. So just show I measured it. And I'm going to transfer that up here. Mine might end up being off because this is one that does have a tendency to be off slightly. When you get done, you look at, oh, they don't look quite parallel, right?
Yeah.
Well, if they don't look perfectly parallel, close, but then you have all the correct construction marks, you're fine. Okay? So yeah, be a little bit picky, but don't lose sleep over it. So I'm going to transfer that measurement out here somewhere, okay? Now I need a second measurement as we always do. So I'm going to go from this first point up to this point here, not on the line. I think that's about right, okay? I'm going to measure that. What do I want? That's a little off, isn't it? That's even worse off, so I'd just leave it where it is, okay? Like that. And now I'm going to transfer that measurement over to here.
Found it. Got it.
Every time. Finger off.
Finger got it.
Now I've got my,
Got it.
you with me? Now I get a straight edge.
I'll go over stuff. Much we should make a violet one. Or a light purple. Like a lavender.
And like that. And I should extend it because it's nice. Does that look pretty parallel there?
Yes.
Better?
Parallel on me.
How do we do on that? Everybody looks pretty good there? All right, so parallel to a line, through a point, not on the line, okay? Again, they have that. If you want to do it the way they did it, that's fine. It's up to you. I just think it's a lot extra. Because see, look, we got a parallel, didn't we?
Yes.
All right, here's your lunches.
I have one salad.
Oh, dang it. You know what I forgot?
Okay,
Pack lunch.
so while they're grabbing their lunches, everyone take a look. One Regents question here, okay? It's slightly different than doing a parallel line thing, but kind of the same, okay?
We learned this before.
This,
Can we?
Ooh, I got some crackers.
Can we? I don't see it.
I'm still hungry after you now.
well, they're gonna have to make a parallelogram, so they're all gonna have to be connected, yes, at some point.
Is that right? I feel like it's wrong.
So you're gonna need, so listen, it's a parallelogram. So you're gonna need to find this other point up here that's not on this line, up here, right? Or so there might be, but be careful, be careful. Notice this. Notice this, A, B, C, D. That's all I'll say about that for now. So doing this. A lot of you are correctly getting a location for some point B out here, right? Okay? Adequate. But, what do they want to be constructed? Parallelogram what? A, B, C, D. They mean that, and that, so let's go down here. What you've constructed, if you did this, probably did it correctly with the right techniques, but A, B, D, C. Oh,
So we have to.
Oh, Lord, I was correct for a change. Why does this get more complicated?
where should your point have gone? Over here somewhere, see?
Oh.
Okay. Now, if you gotta fix it, try it again. Let's all quiet down. You gotta fix this, fix it. So I'm gonna start out with my straight edge. Okay, I got my straight edge going there. Hey, just like when you learn this, are there a couple points on this line to get measurements from?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, I gotta put this, bring that in.
I'll put my sweatshirt back on.
So for to get it, do you measure from B to C?
Well, you'll need to at some point. That's one of the measurements, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Remember, you need, we always get two measurements and figure out where they intersect over somewhere else, right? So let's do this. Sir, if you didn't get this, pay attention. There's my first measurement, right? And I really want to show, like, I do want to, show that I took that, that proves I took that measurement, right? And so now I come up here and I transfer that measurement somewhere up here. Now, I want to make a good size arc because I really don't want to miss it with the other arc and have to go remeasure, right? Okay?
Yep.
What's my other measurement, guys? What's my other measurement to take?
Maybe.
There's no, that is AB.
Oh, and C.
Yeah, the other one. Meaning not the one, yeah.
Hey, what do you mean? It's C. What do you mean AB measure that?
That's
Oh,
this.
C.
Well, BA, really, because we went this way. Well, BA, so we transferred it up here, right? So let's see, let's prove I made that. Now I'm just gonna take that, transfer it over here, right? Now I've got my intersecting point. Now I can finish out my parallelogram and label it.
Uh-huh.
See, look at that. Look what that does. So you'll have to pretend that.
If you review that. I think you like though. It's an honor to
Guys,
think to line.
and this guy here, my digital thing just won't land on that point. It's baffling to me. But anyway, so now this is point D, okay? And you got to label it without labeling it wrong. Now, just what's the key thing to keep in mind here? If they say A, B, C, D, you could correctly get the parallel line here, right? Remember, we read consecutively around, whatever you start with, right? It's just one way or the other, the letters
Did you just say that word?
need to be in consecutive order the way they listed it. You understand, Lily?
You said that word.
So make sure you're clear. That was the only reason question, right?
Yeah.
Okay.